This is Pat with River's Edge Chef at Three Ring Farm. And so what we're going to be doing right now is we're making pastry crust. We're going to do a rich pastry crust that is made for tarts. We're going to make a chocolate pastry tart that's also for tarts, and then a flaky pie crust. We're going to be kicking off kind of a fun thing to do for November, which we're calling Pievember, and we're going to try to get as many pies done for November as possible. There's going to be sweet pies for desserts, and there's going to be savory pies of all different kinds. But anyway, so let's get started. This doesn't take much time. It actually took me longer to collect up the ingredients and get them ready for the video than it does to make this kind of a tart crust. It's really quick, and it's really kind of fun to do. Anyway, so we have 200 grams of sifted all-purpose flour, 60 grams of powdered sugar, which is half a cup. This is a cup and a quarter of flour, half a cup of powdered sugar, 2 egg yolks, a tablespoon of heavy cream, and a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, and then half a cup of grated cold butter, plus a teaspoon of vanilla. Anyway, so let's get this going. We're going to add the flour, the powdered sugar, quarter teaspoon of salt, and whiz that up for just a second. Just combine it. And now we're going to add the butter. And I've grated this butter on a large hold grater. This is the one I've got here. It's a really old one. I've had it for decades. I don't even know where it came from, but it's really nice for grating butter. You can use just cold butter or even frozen butter to do this. But this is just cold butter right out of the refrigerator. And you can use unsalted butter or salted. I usually don't worry too much about unsalted versus salted, because it's all about how much salt you're just adding, and I'm not too concerned about the level of salt because it's not overwhelming at all. It's just kind of a normal level of salt. Now we're going to add the vanilla to the eggs and the heavy cream, and then we're going to mix that up a little bit and then add it to the dry ingredients. And for the rich pastry crust, you can use vanilla or you can use almond extract. Either one of them is nice. It just depends on what kind of a filling you're going to be making. And if you're going to be making pies, be sure and save your egg whites for meringues. And then you just process this until it just comes together. That looks pretty nice. Into the parchment paper here and just kind of squeeze it together. We've been talking about doing this for quite a while now. We've been slow to get with it, but we will get it done. And I think it's going to be fun to do. You can do this with plastic wrap as well, just to get it to come together. But since I had the parchment paper out to have the butter on it, I'm going to do it this way. And then I'll put it in some plastic wrap to put it in the refrigerator overnight until I make the tarts tomorrow. See how easily that came together? Just comes right together. And this is enough to do a normal tart size pan or a long one, like a 4.5 by 14 inch tart pan, or like a 9-inch tart pan. And if you're going to be making quite a few tarts, all you need to do is just scale up or scale down if you're going to be making less. This is enough to make also probably half a dozen, maybe 3.5 to 4-inch tarts. That's come together really nicely. That's what it looks like. And then we're going to put that in the refrigerator overnight. You can roll this out right away, but I just wanted to do all of the tarts and the pie crust at one time. And then we'll work on the rest of it later. But that could be rolled out right now. All you have to do is just a light flour on your rolling board, and then, you know, lightly flour your rolling pin and go for it. So now we're going to work on the chocolate rich pastry crust. So we have 178 grams of all-purpose flour, 22 grams of cocoa powder, which is 1/4 cup. This is, I don't know, it's less than, this is probably a cup. Anyway, a little bit more than a cup. And this is 1/4 cup, or 22 grams. And then we have 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, 2 egg yolks with a tablespoon of cream, and then, where did my salt go? There it is. We have a 1/4 teaspoon salt here. And then, of course, we have our butter. So we'll put this in here, mix it up with the powdered sugar and the salt and the cocoa powder. Give the egg yolk and the cream a little beat. A little bit of vanilla, teaspoon or so. Add our butter here. Now we're going to add the egg, cream, and vanilla. Oh wait, this is not going to work. Oops, shoot. Overshot the whole thing here. You can also add nuts to this, which makes it pretty nice. With the chocolate tart that I'm going to be making with this chocolate crust, I'm going to add some candied pistachios to it as a layer, which will be kind of fun, and add some kind of crunchy wonderfulness. So basically with this sweet pastry tart crust, if you want to make it a chocolate one, what you do is you just replace some of the flour with the cocoa powder. You know, instead of 1.25 cups of flour, you'd use 1/4 cup of cocoa powder and 1 cup of flour. It just replaces part of the flour. They're really easy to work with. And you can either roll this out with a rolling pin, or you can just press it into your tart pan by hand. Either way, it works pretty well. It smells good. It comes together really simply. It's easy. You can also do it up with like a KitchenAid mixer, but the food processor works so well with making pie crust. It's kind of a shame not to invest in one if you don't have one. They're not terribly expensive anymore. Okay, so we have 2 tart crusts here. We have a chocolate one and a regular vanilla.